Abu sir, hello, Abu sir, can we start?
Hello, ma'am.
Can we start, sir?
Yeah, ma'am.
Good afternoon, and I welcome you to all the national levels webinar on Enlist and National Digital Library of India. I am Dr. K. Chandra, the librarian of the Kaidamil Government College for 1, Chennai. First of all, I would like to thank our beloved Principal Dr. D. Frida Nyanarani for providing all support and motivation to organize the seminar during this crucial period of COVID lockdown. As a librarian of the college having the responsibility of keeping the faculty, students and researchers being informed, I am very happy to organize this national level webinar in order to bring forth awareness about the importance of Enlist, National Library and Information Services infrastructure of the scholarly content, which is an initiative of MHRD. The Enlist project provides access to e-resource to students, researchers, and faculty from colleges and other beneficiary institutions through server installed at the Implement Center. The authorized users from colleges can now access e-resource and download articles required by them directly from the publisher's website once they are duly authenticated as authorized users through server deployed at the Implement Center. With this brief introduction about the seminar, I would like to introduce the chief guest and the resource person of this webinar, Dr. K.S. Abu, Assistant Professor, Department of Library and Information Science, Central University of Punjab. Dr. Abu has obtained his UG and PG degrees from the Estimate Alagappa University, Karaikudi, and completed his doctorate degree from the Bharathidasan University, Tiruchirappalli. He specializes in e-learning and model learning management system, e-content development, and webcasting. Dr. Abu has published his articles in indexed journals and presented papers in reputed conferences organized in India, Muscat, and Sri Lanka. I am happy to state here that he has received South Asia Library and Science Research Award during 2019 and has received 3 awards for his best presentation. He is associating himself with the Society for Advancement of Library and Information Science and the Indian Societies for Technical Education. So we have the person here today who has got this person towards source technologist and research data management. I would like to pass the online floor to our resource person, Dr. K.S. Abu, Assistant Professor. Thank you. Hello, sir. Abu, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm just sharing my presentation. 1 second, ma'am. Hello, madam. I'm extremely sorry for the technical inconvenience. Hope I am audible to you. Hello, ma'am. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. So, I'm highly obliged by this wonderful introduction. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Most respected management, organizers of this webinar, faculty members, and beloved participants. A very, very pleasant, joyful afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I thank Vaidya Millet College of Women, especially Chandra ma'am, for giving me this opportunity for meeting you all in this online platform. Further, I would personally like to thank my friend Dr. Ramasamy sir, librarian, MBM College, Premium Government Arts College, Tamil Nadu, for lending his support as and when required. The use of technology is increasing with every passing day, and each one of us depends on technology for some or other purposes. Technology is being used by every section of the society and business forms. So everywhere we talk about technology, even in education, research, and teaching, where we tend to use lots of e-resources. These e-resources, which can be available online as well as offline. We can classify these e-resources into a set of free resources where you can download and use it for free, and on the other side, subscribe, paid, or commercial resources which can be used only with a subscription, which is usually paid in the form of a fee. Then we have open educational resources, OERs, resources which have been exclusively designed for faculty members, students, and researchers for teaching, learning, and research purposes. Today, in this presentation, we are going to discuss about two important e-resource tools. One is Enlist and other is NDLI, National Digital Library of India. We will be able to limit to high quality content, target oriented, authenticated literature from private e-resource vendors. But the problem is that all the institutions may not be able to purchase or subscribe to all these privately available commercial e-resource package. So what is the solution? As an institution, I would like to get costly e-resources at a discounted price with a single search platform accessibility, that too at an affordable rate, with 24/7 access, throughout the year access, that too with minimum infrastructure. Is that possible? Yes, friends, it's definitely possible because of the birth of consortium. Consortia is nothing but a cooperative effort where a group of libraries come together, talk with the publishers to bargain the products, get the products at a cheaper rate for all the members. In India, there are lots of consortias. Some of them are Forum for Resource Sharing in Astronomy, FORSA, EAE, Department of Atomic Energy Consortium, IIM Libraries Consortia, CSIR eJournal Consortium, Invest AICT Consortium, Helinet Health Information Network Consortium, and UGC Infonet Digital Library Consortium. In the year 2016, UGC Infonet Digital Library Consortium, Enlist, and Invest AICT Consortium merged together and formed a new consortia, which is called as eSourceIndu. In eSourceIndu, there is a separate package which is meant to serve the arts and science colleges, which is known as Enlist. It stands for National Library and Information Services Infrastructure for Scholarly Content. It was funded by MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource Development, under the National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology Program. So where is the headquarters of Enlist? The servers of Enlist are being deployed from InfluBnet Center, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. InfluBnet stands for Information and Library Network. How can I access all the resources which are available in this particular Enlist package? Very simple. Your institution has to apply by submitting an application form, and Enlist will send you the invoice containing the price details with terms and conditions. Then you have to make the payment. Your college administrator will get the username and password, and the administrator will also create a list of authenticated users, and the list will be sent to InfluBnet Center, where they validate it and send the login credentials for all the users through email. And once you activate the email, you are good to go. You can remotely access the resources of Enlist with the help of an internet connection. Is there any limits to the number of users who can access subscribed resources simultaneously? No, there is no such limits to the concurrent access, simultaneous access of subscribed resources. So what are the subjects covered under Enlist program? Enlist basically covers subjects related to blue sciences, applied sciences, social sciences, humanities, including linguistics and languages. E-resources in engineering, agriculture, and medicine are not covered under Enlist program. Can I share my login ID and password with my friends? No, you are not supposed to share it, because if you are using your username and password, your login credentials to access Enlist, your access time, pages viewed, IP addresses, downloads will be counted, and also search histories will be tracked. Hence, it is advisable not to share your login credentials with your friends or colleagues. So I have already mentioned where and how to access Enlist. Which colleges are eligible to avail the service? All the colleges which are covered under Section 12B of UGC Act, and certain non-aided colleges excluding agriculture, engineering, management, and medical are eligible to avail the services of Enlist. So what are the resources available in Enlist? Enlist provide access to more than 6,000 full-text e-journals, which are being provided by all these publishers, starting from American Institute of Physics, Annual Reviews, Economic and Political Weekly, Indian Journals, Institute of Physics, JSTOR, Oxford University Press, Royal Society of Chemistry, Wilson, and Cambridge University Press. So what about ebooks? Enlist provides access to around 33 lakhs of ebooks from lots of ebook aggregators and publishers, starting from Cambridge Books Online, EBSCO Host Net Library, Springer eBooks, Sage Publication eBooks, Taylor and Francis eBooks, and McGraw-Hill eBooks, and so on. So bibliographical database contains references to articles published in journals, conference proceedings, or chapters in books. Enlist subscribes to MathScienceNet that covers reviews of articles in mathematics from 1944 onwards. So before we show a demo of Enlist, I would like to show you about the things which are permitted in the use of Enlist and what are the things that are not permitted. So what are permitted? Going to Enlist, viewing, downloading, copying, printing, and saving a copy of search results, that's permitted. If you want to download an individual article, you can copy and print it, that is permitted. If you are using the resources of Enlist for educational purposes, for your teaching learning purposes, for private study and clinical purposes, that is absolutely permitted. If you want to send a copy of article from Enlist to another authorized user, that is permitted. And if you want to post an URL of the available article in Enlist, that is also permitted. So what is not permitted? You cannot carry out automatic downloading or bulk downloading using API key or other artificial intelligence mechanisms. Similarly, systematic downloading or printing of entire journal issues are not permitted. You cannot download the entire issue of a particular journal and print it or recycle it. Using e-resources for commercial gain is also not permitted. You are not supposed to send Enlist e-resources to unauthorized users by any means. That's what I mentioned earlier. You are not supposed to share your login credentials to your friends or colleagues or other unauthorized users. You are not supposed to share any resource which is provided by Enlist to your colleagues or friends by any forms, by any means of social media, by any forms of social media. That is not permitted. Instead, what you can do, you can share the URL of that article, which will direct them to the Enlist website where the authenticated users alone can access or download the content. So now we will go on see the practical aspects of Enlist e-resources. So go to Google and type Enlist. You will get this particular website, enlist.enflipnet.ac.in, and in the home page you can see 2 rows of menu. The top row has got 4 items, namely college admin login, licenses and fair use, frequently asked questions, and downloads. Second row, there are menus such as home, about, members, register, e-resources, and search. Let's see what each and every menu will be able to do it for you. So first we will look at the home menu. This is the home page where you can see the Enlist resources, who are all eligible, and the login menu for the members. Then if you scroll down, there is a menu for college administrator. Most probably the librarian will be the administrator and they will be able to log in from this home page. Here you can see the summary of how many colleges have benefited from the services of Enlist. And here they also tell you about the top 10 colleges that have efficiently exploited the resources of Enlist to their benefits. And in the bottom of the page, you can see the details about useful links, other links, contact information, and email particulars. So now we will see the about menu. When you click this menu, you will get information about Enlist program. Third one is members. If you click this menu, you will understand how to join Enlist and what are the procedures you have to follow. You can find membership status of a particular college also. For example, if I type the name of Qaeda Millet College, I can see the details of that college. This is how you can find out whether your college has subscribed to Enlist e-resources or not. You can also search colleges based on their existence of state-wise existence also. See, for example, in Tamil Nadu, there are 292 colleges, and you can look at all these colleges separately. For example, if I type Laila College, I can see the particulars of Laila College, like when they have registered, when they have been verified, and what is their current status, and so on. So now we will look at the menus from the first column. From the top, the first is College Administrator, where the administrator can log in to avail the services of Enlist. Second one is License and Fair Use. Here they talk about what are the licenses and the fair use policies you have to adopt when you download from Enlist and using it for your educational or teaching learning purposes. Then comes the frequently asked questions, where they list all the predefined important questions along with their answers as well. And the last menu is the download menu, where you can download Enlist brochure, administrator manual, and so on. Apart from that, you can download the list of journals which are available from these publishers. For example, I would like to know what are the journals that are published by American Institute of Physics. I just click download. The entire list will be downloaded as TSV file, tab separated value file, where you can open the file in Excel. You can see the list of 18 journals that are published by American Institute of Physics. So now there are two more menus in the second row, e-resources. Two more menus in the second row, e-resources and the search menu. So let's discuss about these two options. So click on e-resources, and I got this list. It will display the name of e-journal providers, how many titles they are providing, and their URLs as well. Similarly, when I scroll down, I will get the list of ebook providers, the number of books they are providing, and their URLs as well. So now I would like to give you two examples. The first example is how to search for contents from a journal in a vendor site. Please understand, whenever you are trying to log in to Enlist using your authorized login credentials, you will be approaching the servers of Enlist, where they will authenticate you. And once you are authenticated, they will let you in, where you can directly go to the publisher's website. From there, you can download the required information. So I just clicked e-resources and menu and got this list. I clicked the URL of American Institute of Physics. It will redirect me. It is asking me for the username and password. Whatever your college administrator has given you, you have to type the same. And after logging in, you will be able to reach the site of American Institute of Physics. Here you can go through all the list of journals. If you want to search for a particular journal, click it and click the journal. You will land here. For example, I would like to search for the contents of this particular journal, Journal of Mathematical Physics. See the table of contents and bibliographical details. I want to browse the issue of May 2020. So see, all the articles of May 2020 issue can be seen and downloaded. Under each article, you can see some options like show abstract, PDF, add to favorites, share and export citations. So if you click on show abstract, you can read the abstract of that particular article. If you click on icon adjacent to PDF, you can see the full text of the article in PDF format, where you can download it. You can also share information about this article by clicking on the share button. You can share this article, share this either through email, Facebook, or LinkedIn and Twitter. You can also recommend this article to your friend or to your librarian. This is very much possible.
Sir, sir, please check your mic.
Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Please.
So you can export citations based on certain filters, either for the chosen article or the references which are cited in this article, or even both, even the citations of this article as well as the references that are cited in the article according to your requirements. You can export the citation in all these formats. Similarly, when you want to add an item to your favorites, AIP is asking you to sign in. You have to click on sign in where you can register using your demographic details. Once you have registered, they will send the confirmation link to your mail ID where you need to activate it. And once you have activated, you can log in and access the dashboard and see the welcome details. And now this is my home page. I can click on personal details where you can type all the personal information about you. Similarly, you can create alerts also. There are 3 types of alerts available. Create alerts for journals, alerts for newsletters, and alerts for topics. Out of 18 journals, whatever journal in which you want to have an alert, you can choose that particular journal. As soon as a new issue is published in the journal, you will get notification in your registered mail ID. Even you can create alerts for various newsletters which are published by AIP. Similarly, you can create alerts for specific topic as well, which are covered by AIP. For instance, if I want to create alerts, if I want to get alerts about electronics or photonics or something, whichever is of interest to you, you can create alert accordingly. Then comes the favorites, where you can add a particular article or a set of articles as your favorites. Not only that, your favorites can be emailed to a friend or downloaded as a citation, and if you don't want, you can even delete them also. When you're searching for any item in AIP, for example, I'm typing nuclear physics, I got around 3 lakh results. I can refine the results using lot of filters like article type, year of publication, or using by topics, or by authors, or by publication. So these filters will help you to obtain precise and relevant results based on your information requirements. Once you got what you need, you can click save search option. Once you save this, it will ask you to name, ask you to name the search, where I named it as nuclear physics, and all the searches, whatever search queries was conducted, will be stored in the saved searches. Anytime you can come again and run the search and get all the results. It helps in saving time, as you need not to conduct the same search again and again in the platform. So now so far we saw how to search for a journal in a vendor site, how to download, export citations, creating alerts, adding to favorites, and saving your search results. Now let's move on to the next example, where I'll explain how to search for a particular book in a vendor site. The home page, similarly, click the e-resource icon, scroll down, you will find the list of ebook providers. For example, I would like to search some books which are published by Sage Publications. So when I click that knowledge.sagepub.com, I will be directed to the home page of Sage Publication. Here I just type a keyword SPSS. That means I would like to get ebooks on SPSS statistical package. So let's see. I got around 388 ebooks related to SPSS. In the right side, there are certain filters available, and you can use these filters to refine your search results. For example, you can confine your search results based on certain content types, such as books or reference sources, such as encyclopedia, or if you want to look for sources that provide entire collection, or you can download even chapters, or you can even confine your result to specific subjects. For example, if you want SPSS applied to business point of view, or counseling point of view, or criminology point of view, education point of view, and so on, you can restrict the year of publications also. So these are the filters that you can make use to get precise and relevant results based on your information requirement. So see, what is the results now? Only 7 books. I want full text books of SPSS related to education. So now I want to download 1 or 2 chapters in this book. How to go ahead? To click on that particular book. It will show you the bibliographical details of that book. In the right hand side, there are 2 things. One is related titles and other is 4 blue colored icons. These related titles will refer you to the sources based on your recent search topics. You can click on chapters. All the chapters will be listed one by one. For example, I have selected chapter 4. If you want to download chapter 4, you can click on the download option, which is highlighted in the red color. You can click on the download option, and if you want to see the page, if you want to see the page numbers, you can see the page numbers, or if you want to search for a particular keyword in the chapter, you can type the keyword in the search box and look for it. If you want to read the entire chapter, you can read that also. Or if you want to download and save it, you can do that also. Similarly, you can see what are the subheadings available in the particular page. I can see the page numbers, or I can go and search for occurrences of any specific keyword from this particular 4th chapter. Apart from that, I can use this navigation tool to go forth and back, to go forward and backward. For instance, if I want to go to that 3rd chapter or 5th chapter, I can go. This kind of navigation is also possible. They provide subject index for each and every contents in the book in alphabetical order. So these are the 4 icons. These 4 icons are used for 4 different purposes. For example, if you want to create a citation for this particular book, you click this first button. You can choose your style and copy the citation and export the citation accordingly. You can choose the second. The second button is if you want to add a particular chapter as your favorite, you have to register, as I have explained in the journal search, and you can add your items as favorites and compile them in the list of favorites. The third button is for sharing, where you can share information about these books through email, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so on. Fourth icon is meant for increasing the font size. If you want the font size smaller, normal, or in a larger size, according to a requirement. So this is how we go ahead and search for a particular book in a vendor site. The last option available on the second row is the search button. So if you click on the search button, you will get this screen. Here you can go and search for ebooks or journals. You can search by title, author, subject, call number, ISBN number, or ISSN number, or tags. For example, I typed artificial intelligence and I want the phrase artificial intelligence to appear in the title field. So I have selected accordingly. I have selected my search query accordingly. So I click on search. So you see, I got around 1071 results available for the search query. And here you can see the formats such as ebooks, conference proceedings on the right hand side, year of publications, details of providers. So using all these filters, you can refine your search results. For example, 1070 ebooks on artificial intelligence are available. If I want to refine only to thesis, I want thesis related to artificial intelligence, there are only 3 theses available and all 3 are listed. So if I want to refine only to journals, you can see only 1 journal is available in endless on artificial intelligence. So this way you can refine your search options using the filters available to obtain relevant results. So if you click on a particular item, you will be taken to the particular page where you can cite this item, or you can even download the entire article, or you can find out the similar items also. You need to log in to the publisher's site to access the book. Similarly, you need to agree the terms and conditions, then you are permitted to download the book. This way also you can download, instead of refining to a particular journal or a particular provider, you can search using the federated search option in Endless. Then you can log in and download the item. So both ways you can try. In refine option with thesis, if you click this button, to view about thesis, if you click this button to view about thesis here, you will be directed to the login page to enter the login credentials. Apart from that, you can use advanced search option. Whatever I told you, you can use this in this option. In advanced search option, you can search for multiple fields. For example, if you want a book written by a particular author and you want that book to be published by a particular publisher in a particular year, you can fill out more than one criteria using this advanced search option. For example, 3 fields are there. If you want to add one more field, click on add search field, you will get 4. In this way, you can add any number of search fields with advanced search. One more option is there where you can create different groups. Where one group can be added, you can add another search groups also. You can combine different searches simultaneously using this advanced search option. You can also refine to different options in advanced search. For example, you want a particular book from a particular publisher in a particular language in a specific file format, you can limit your search. All these you can do even before you type your keyword in the search box. You can limit your search based on illustrations, with or without illustrations, or from a custom range of years like 2010 to 2016, 20, etc., depending upon your requirements. You can also use options like search history, advanced search, browse the catalog, and explore channels. We saw about advanced search. Now let me tell you about search history. So whatever search queries we have conducted so far, it will be automatically saved and that can be accessed through this search history. Next is the browser catalog. In traditional conventional times, libraries use physical catalog in the form of card or book. Similarly, this is an online catalog of NList where you can search using these filters like call number, topic, nature of the document, region, and era. So I tried a call number. You can see the results. The call number is based on certain scheme of arrangement. So this call number. So I clicked on I clicked on social science, which is denoted by the alphabet H. You can see the subdivisions of social science. For example, if I want books on sociology, I click on that HM, and you can see all the 2,489 documents on sociology has been listed. This way you can browse by call numbers and topics. So now I click on authors. I want authors from India, so I click on author, then I select region, then I select India in particular. So you can search for authors who are emanated from India. That too, I want an author named Banerjee. So there are 2 authors with this same name. Similarly, you can search by topic for a particular era. So the search results of resources related to history in the 19th century. You can also search by the nature of resources, like depending upon your needs, like whether you are looking for a case study or biography or interviews or statistics and whatever it may be. For example, this screen tells you the number of books on statistics from United States in particular. So you can search by region, books published by a particular country, particular region, or even you can search for resources which are pertaining to a particular period of time history. For example, I want books from 21st century on history. I can search using this option. So these are the 21st century resources on history. Similarly, you can explore different channels that are available. They have created a channel in a sense on a particular topic where all the relevant information can be added, and even you can have your own favorite list of items as well. So all ready-made channels are available. If you want to create your own channel, so go and click this add more channels like button and select your topic. For example, I have selected computers, and once you select computers, a new channel is created. They are suggesting these are the resources that can be added to your channel. For example, if you want to add this particular book, I click it and it will ask you whether you want to view the book or you want to explore related channels. That means what are the other channels this book is available. I click on explore channel. You can see the same book is available already in this particular channel called programming, and it is also available in another channel named computer programming. This way we can explore the related channel pertaining to our channel. So similarly, if I click on view record, you can see the bibliographical details about this ebook as well as similar items also. So they also help you with
the screen is not visible, sir.
Okay, 1 second, ma'am. Is it visible now, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Where was I? So in this way, you can explore channels, or you can create your own channels. So they also help you with search tips, like how you can make use of advanced search, how you can use different search operators that can be applied while searching. So they give a demo on this also. There are different types of search operators, like how to conduct wildcard searches, proximity searches, Boolean operator search, and so on. For example, if you want to conduct a proximity search, let's say you want to search for a document that contains both the keywords economics and Heinz, and there should be a difference of 10 words between economics and Heinz. That is a proximity I have restricted to. So this kind of proximity searches, range searches, and all other searches can be conducted using these search operators. Similarly, when you are searching something, if you click on this particular image icon of Enlist, you will get an option to know in what are the languages Enlist has got its contents. For example, I would like to know how many Hindi books are available in Enlist contents. So I click on Hindi. So there are around 81 books in Hindi language. So login appear. So the login option appears for members only when you search and get some results on the top right hand corner. So here you can go and access the resources. This is the language option where you can change the interface to Hindi or even Bangla language. You can see now the interface has changed to Hindi. Even in the home page, they have a search box. Even in the home page, they have a search box. For example, I tried COVID-19. I got around 2000 results, and using all the filters, I told you I can refine my search results according to my requirements. So when you want to get into Enlist, there are two ways. Either you can log in as a member and search for information, or search for something, and once you want to download or access the full text, then that particular publisher will ask you to log in as a member to access the full text resources. So these are the two ways of accessing Enlist resources. So finally, to summarize, these are the options we have discussed so far. I have briefed about the functionalities of all these menu. So these are the things we have discussed about Enlist. So I am slightly rushing up because I also need to talk about NDLI. Pardon me for that. So now let's talk about NDLI, National Digital Library of India, which is also the pride of India. NDLI is an integration of digital libraries across India. It contains vast type of resources catering to the needs of different types of learners, like school students, college students, teachers, library professionals, lifelong learners, etc. They have a platform which have contents in many languages, interface in many languages. They provide a single window search facility to access more than 4.8 crores of documents. Yes, you heard me right. 4.8 crores of documents. Who can be benefited? As I mentioned, NDLI has been designed to benefit all kinds of learners, irrespective of their age, irrespective of their domicile, etc. So what do they have at NDLI? Please remember, NDLI has only the metadata or the bibliographical details about the contents. They don't have the original full text information. They only have the metadata such as title of the book, name of the author, publisher, edition, year of publication, ISBN details, and so on. Once you click on a particular item, you will be taken to the publisher's website where you can get the full text. NDLI contains these kind of contents which are born digital surrogate of physical objects, that is digital reproduction of a physical object, and metadata of physical objects. So who is giving all these contents? 4.8 crores of documents in National Digital Library of India have been provided by more than 250 contributors. They provide all their digital content to NDLI that can be used by the learners. Starting from Bharatdasan University, we have all the IITs, IIMs, we have Directory of Open Access Journals, Sodhganga, Microsoft Data, we have Springer, IEEE, and so on. All these institutions have signed a kind of what do you say memorandum of understanding (MOU) with the NDLI to share their resources for the learners. So these are the subject-wise categorization of 4.8 crores of documents available in NDLI. We have got more than 1 crore of items from technology. We have social sciences, natural sciences, languages, and so on. So we have materials from almost all kinds of areas. So these are the top 20 contributors. The maximum contribution is from World eBook Library, around 77 lakhs of documents, CiteSeer with 52 lakhs, PubMed with 38 lakhs, and Paperity. Paperity is the first multidisciplinary open access aggregator of the world. They provide around 16 lakhs of documents to NDLI. So these are the top 20 contributors. What kind of learning resources we have in NDLI? We have articles, books, reports, law ads, law judgments, thesis, historical records, simulations, audio resources, video lectures. All these kinds of resources are available in NDLI. So NDLI provides you content in these 5 categories. Any resource which is included into NDLI falls into any one of these 5 categories. First is open in the sense 2.7 crores of documents are free. You can go to NDLI, search, browse, and download all these 2.7 crores of documents for free. NDLI provides 77 lakhs of documents in full text forms only for those users who have registered as a member of or as a user of NDLI. Apart from that, there are 95 lakhs of subscribed e-resources in limited. So you will get full text of these resources only when they are subscribed by your individual institution. In limited, you can get only a few pages of the documents where you have to get permission from the appropriate vendor or the publisher to access the full text. Similarly, in the case of authorized, unless otherwise the publisher gives you full authorization, you will not be able to download the full text, but always you can see the documents at the abstract level. Metadata of the documents is always visible. So as I mentioned earlier, it is meant for everybody, such as school, colleges, professionals, academics, researchers, entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners. It is for all. Anyone can make use of this platform. So now let me show you practically. I go to Google and type NDLI and click on this ndl.iit.agp.ac.in. It takes you to the home page of NDLI. So NDLI is being funded by MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource Development, and it is being administered by IIT, Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur. So this is the home page of NDLI. They talk about study at home resources, COVID-19 research repository, and they have featured collections as well. So at the bottom of the page, they have other kinds of facilities like about NDLI, FAQs, and so on. So here they provide information about NDLI, details about their sponsoring agencies, MHRD. So these are the options. These are the options available. You can see here, you can access around 4.8 crores of resources, documents in the commons. This is the common search box. And in the right side, we have a language and login button. And on the left side, we have browse and search icon. So first, I would like to show you what is available on the home page. The home page contains 3 different collections. Study at home, COVID-19 research repository, and featured collections. COVID-19 research repository is meant for all the scholarly publications, journals, and conference data sets, documents, and videos related to COVID-19, which I will not go into detail. I will discuss about study at home and featured collection. In study at home, they got special collections for school children of all boards, for CBSE students, for others like engineering, science, humanities, literature, law, and management. So let's see one by one. So in the home page, top right hand side, you can choose the language according to your convenience. The interface will be changed accordingly. For instance, I have selected Tamil. You can see now the interface has changed into Tamil language. So if you click If you click login, you can enter the login credentials. That is the email ID and password. It will ask you to enter the captcha number. If you don't have membership, you can register yourself as a member by clicking the register icon. Many of you might have registered through your institution. If not, you can register yourself individually also, where you have to fill out your demographic details, which will be followed by a confirmation link to your email. Upon activating the link, you can log in using the credentials. So let me show you one by one. First, we are going to look at the resources available for school students in the study at home collection. So if you go here, you will see all the resources like video lectures, JEE preparation materials, simulation activity, self-assessment and various study materials, books, question papers, solutions from CBSE, NCERT and other boards, and books for children reading as well. The first one is the video lecture, where you can get access to all these video lecture. For example, I click for exam fair video lecture. You can decide whether you want a video lecture for class 6, 7, 8 or 10, so on. If you click on a particular class, for instance, I click 8 and I selected math subject, I would like to get videos on practical geometry. I can select topic and you can see the video running over here. So the topic gives you two options, the content and the metadata. So if you click on metadata, you can see the bibliographical details about this particular content. For example, if I want to get something on NEET physics, I can click NEET physics and select my subtopic. Similarly, if I want English grammar, a specific topic like direct and indirect speech, all these you can select according to your requirements. So the second one is JEE preparation materials. This is for those who are preparing for joint entrance examination, can get the materials here. For example, I selected JEE Advanced 2018 question paper and I got the content here. You can go and download this content also. Similarly, you got lots of simulations, activities, self-assessment, study materials from NDLI. For example, I clicked on one and got around 18,213 items. When I click on this particular scale drawings in percent, the content appears. And not only that, you can go and interact with the content using these three icons, which are using the three icons in green color. So if you click any one of this, they will ask you to sign in. That means this resource is provided by CK12 institution, and using your email ID, you can register yourself. And once you are registered, you can start annotating. That means highlighting whatever text you feel important for your study. You can add a note by naming annotation. For example, I have selected this keyword called unique triangle and added a descriptive note about it. Then if you click this brain icon, you will get a worksheet also. So based on what you have studied in this particular page, you can download the worksheet and try the worksheet for self-assessment. So you can download either in PDF or HTML format. If you click PDF, they will ask whether you want the worksheet along with the answers or only the questions. It depends upon your requirement. I selected no for answers and click download. Now you see this particular worksheet will be generated and will be sent to your registered email ID. These kind of interactive activities can be, interaction with the content is possible in NDLI. Okay, then in the top leftmost button below the NDLI icon, when you click the content, when you click the title of that particular content, CK12 Interactive Middle School Maths M7 for CCSS, you will get the table of content of this particular resource. Not only that, you can also share this content using social media platforms such as tweets and Facebook options. So next is books, question papers and solution. Here you can get all the state government books, that is Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, and so on. All these books can be downloaded here. For example, I click on Tamil Nadu board ebooks. It gives you all the classes, and I select class 10. I select biology, life process, chapter 6. See, the resources is visible and you can download this particular chapter. The last one is books for general reading. Here, 92 story books are available, which are sponsored by National Book Trust (NBT). You can choose the book and download the entire book. So, this is about school, and next is CBSE exam preparatory in the study at home collection. Ma'am, is my screen visible? Is my screen visible, ma'am?
No, sir.
What about now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, fine. So this is so now we are going to discuss about CBSE exam preparatory in the study at home collection. So this resource is particularly meant for aspirants who are preparing for 10th and 12th CBSE exams. You can click either 10th or 12th, no problem. You can see the list of sources provided. The source providers of these materials. There are government bodies like CBSE board website, DOE, Department of Electronics website, NCERT, and so on. And you can also get materials of Kendriya Vidyalayas, non-government organizations such as BYJU'S and other agencies as well. You can also refine the results by the types of contents, like only audio contents, only books, only notes, only presentations, and so on. And you can also search by subjects also. You can select the subject on which you want to get the materials. You can also get the materials by sources like BYJU'S, CBSE board, NCERT, and so on. Similarly, you can select by languages also, like I want materials only in Hindi or Sanskrit. You can search by the available languages also. So these are the subjects you can search resources by source, by contents. In this way, you can search for both 10th and 12th standard CBSE materials in NDLI. So now we will discuss about subject-wise collections. So many subject collections are there. And if you go and search for science collections, all the sub-collections within the science collections will appear. You can select any one subject. For example, I selected computer science. It gives you further option. You can select according to your requirement. And I select and I went to biology and biotechnology. All the resources related to biology and biotechnology are listed, and we select any one. For example, I selected a lesson called cell mechanics. The contents can be seen. Similarly, in humanities, they provide contents of all these subjects. In economics, they provide video lectures and materials contributed by faculty as well. Then in literature, you get materials of in all these areas. English literature, Hindi literature, how learning Sanskrit, learning Urdu, and literary works in English. For example, I want to get something in English literature. I click on that. Here you can see an interesting source from the second last row. That is called as LibriVox. LibriVox gives you free audio contents to the learners. It's a kind of audio book site. If I get if I click this, I will get audio content related to English literature. You can choose a chapter accordingly and play the audio, or if you want to download the audio, you can click the download option. The entire audio of the audio of the entire chapter will be downloaded. Similarly, literary works in English are also available. For example, I tried Mark Twain and I got around 172 results. So this is about study at home collection. So now we will move on to the featured. So now we will move on to the featured collections. So here every day they will talk about what is the importance of this particular day. What is the importance of this particular day? What is special about today? So these kind of aspects they talk about. So this screenshot shows that what is the importance on July 10th. And similarly, what is the importance on previous day, July 9th, like that. So here in this page, they provide the list of talks and webinars which are conducted by NDLI. All those presentations and videos are available in this particular collection where you can access and download it. The next important aspect of NDLI is the browse option. This browse option is available in the top leftmost side of the home page. You can browse this 4.8 crores of documents under these 4 broad categories. You can search these documents by type, by subject, by by source, and by learning resource. Let's see one by one. So I want to browse the entire collection by its type. What do you mean by type actually? There are different types of content such as text, video content, image content, audio content, presentation, simulation, application, animation, and so on. All these things can be searched for in NDLI. So you can see here, these are the content types. We got around 4 crores of textual information, 4 lakhs of video content, 4 lakhs of image contents, 2 lakhs of audio contents, 1.7 lakhs of PPT presentations, so on. So these are the different contents available in NDLA as on 10th July 2020. So when you search for text, I got around 4.7 crores of items. So it is difficult for me to go and look for all these 4.7 crores of records. So what will so what can I do? I will try to make use of these filters which are available on the left hand side. So you can see there are 10 filters available in NDLA. So these are the 10 filters. Let's see one by one. Access restrictions. As I told you earlier, you can search the contents based on these 5 options. You can search only for open access contents, or you can search only for NDLA contents, or you can search for subscribed contents, or so on, depending upon your requirements. Or even you can combine 2 operators and search accordingly. You can combine and search this accordingly. For example, you can search contents of a particular author, or to a particular group of subject, or or materials related to a particular course as well. For example, I want to get materials related to Doctor of Philosophy, or Master of Science, or Bachelor of Technology, or LLB, or Pharmacy, and so on. We can even search based on the level of difficulty also, like contents which are very easy, which are medium, they are categorized like that also. Difficulty level can also be used as a filter for searching materials in NDLI. Then you can search materials by the educational level. For example, I want materials only for UG and PG students, or only for class 10 students, or 12. You can make use of file formats also, whether you want content in PDF or Word format or PPT format, and so on. You can search for contents in a particular language also. You can search for materials by their learning resource type, whether you want search for books, brochures, or audio resources, and so on. Here you can search for search by sources. For example, I want to get the materials only of Bangalore University, or I want the materials provided by CSIR Labs only, or I want the materials of IIT Madras only. So this way also you can make use of these filters for refining your search in order to get relevant results. So out of 4.7 crores, what I did was I restricted to educational level, in which I selected only UG and PG resources. Now you can see that 4.7 crores of results has come down to 2.6 crores. Again, I go to refine by difficulty level, where I select medium. Now the result is only 70 lakhs. Let me again refine by specific file format, where I restricted only to PDF resources. You can see now only 4 lakhs contents are available. Again, I go to the subject category, refine to a specific subject, computer science. Now the result has come down to 3.8 lakhs. Now I refine to a language where I want the contents only in English. I got again 3.85 lakhs. And again, I refined by learning resource type, where I want only research or journal articles. I got 3.84 lakhs. So now I want the material only from a particular source. I selected PubMed. I want the material from PubMed source. So I refined accordingly. Now you can see the results are just 4,083 items. So now I want materials of a particular author named Big. So now I have only 12 results. So this is how I have narrowed down my search from 4.4 crores to just 12 results. I got the material from a particular author, from a particular subject, in a particular medium, that in a particular language, and in a specific source PubMed. These many results are employed by me to get relevant results. So while searching, you have to be more specific instead of being general in order to obtain relevant results, as well as to save your valuable time as well. So once you got the information, click on this particular item, you will get a screen like this. Click on open the content in a new tab. You will get the content. You can click download to get the content in your system. So that's about browsing by content. So now let me tell you about how to browse by subject. So NDLI provides you with 3-layered searching tool where you can search for a particular subject by first level, second level, then third level. For example, in computer science, if I want information about hardware, and in hardware, I want information about printer. So these kind of 3-layered searching is possible. For example, I tried for literature and rhetoric at the first level, and American literature at English in the second level, and American fiction in English at the third level. So my focus is I want something on literature, and again I want something on American English literature in English, and again I want something on American fiction in English. So in this way, using 3-layered structure, you can refine your subject search. So there are around 70,000 results which can be further refined by applying these filters. So I am using author filter and I am selecting only Mark Twain. I got 408 results. So the third option is browsing by source. So as I mentioned earlier, there are more than 250 organizations that are contributing to the contents of NDLI. So you can search for contents of a particular organization. So see, there are organizations such as, see the top, there are organizations such as Open Tutorial, NPTEL, NCRET, South Asian Archives, OECD libraries, and so on. Using this arrow icon, you can either go back or move forward. So here you can search for the contents from a particular organization. I just typed CSIR, and all the CSIR labs and institutes will be listed, or I can search for a particular institution, and let me take Pondicherry University, where I can search for digital content from this particular university. So I have selected that and click that. 727 results are available, and once again I can go and make use of these filters to narrow down the search results. So for example, I want to get details of patents obtained by this institution. I refined accordingly using patent. So I got only one result. So these kind of filters can be employed to get relevant results. So next is browse by learning resource type. By using this option, you can refine by what kind of learning resource you want to refer. For example, when you want audiobooks, whether you want photographs or whether you want case studies, so what kind of resource you want from NDLI, you can browse by the learning resource type. So for example, I type technology, which is meant for class 11 and 12, and I want to have the material only in English language, and I want to get it from a particular source called Spoken Tutorial, and I got around 719 results. So you click any one result, it will take you to the publisher's website. From there, you can download the content. So next is search option, search box. So either it is available in two places. This option is available in two places. Either you can make use of the search option in the top of the home page, or you can make use of the search option in the center of the home page as well. You can search by English, Hindi, and Bangla languages. So I tried something on Quit India movement, and I clicked search. So I got around 4,829 records as my results. So I don't want these many results, so I'm going to refine my results by using these filters. For example, I want only PDF materials that too from a subject history and geography. So I got around 2,102 results. So when I use two filters, when I use these two filters, the results have come down from 54,829 to 2,102. Even you can make use of other searching tools also. So what I did is I used phrase search option, that is searching using quotations. I typed my search query Quit India movement with a double quotation, and you see I got only 115 results. So this way also you can make use of search tools. Apart from that, near that search box, there is a red colored search mirror which can be used to carry out advanced search. Let me click on this particular icon. So you will get a screen like this. So this is the advanced search option. For example, I want to search for Python programming in the title field, or in a specific source, in a specific language, or that too in a specific learning type. So what do? I want to appear Python in the title field. I want to appear it from a particular source called the Directory of Open Access Journals, those, and I want to have the material meant for UG and PG, and I want to have the material in English only, and I only want articles, journal articles. So this is how I have employed different fields using this advanced search option. See, in this advanced search, you can make use of all these filters so that you can get relevant result related to your query. So after applying these filters, I got around 260 results, and even these 260 results can be further filtered again using the filters available in the left hand side. So what are the other things you need to know about NDLI? NDLI has also launched a mobile app which can be downloaded via Play Store and installed in the smartphones. Whatever I discussed so far regarding NDLI, all these things can be done in the mobile app as mobile application as well. So in the bottom part of the home page, they provide provision for bulk registration, where the librarian or the nodal officer can collect all the details of faculty members and students, can upload in the portal for bulk registration, for user registration. Further, there is a provision for feedback, where you can give your suggestions regarding the platform or even about the particular content. So you can select a particular content. You can even select a particular content. You can give feedback about it, about what you like or what you dislike about that particular content. And there is a video also on the website where you can watch to get an overview about NDLI. And here is the contact information is also available. So far I told you about two e-resources, Enlist and NDLI. So whether you are taking resources from Enlist or from NDLI or from any other platform, it doesn't matter. Whatever it may be, you go, you search and get some documents, then you use them. So see, once you use them, please understand, whenever you are referring to others' material, whenever you are taking some content from others, you have to acknowledge it properly. You have to give credit to the original owner of the original source. Yes, I have taken this particular piece of information from a particular resource, that too from a particular article. You should be able to acknowledge it. How to acknowledge it? You have to acknowledge them into two different ways. One in the way of in-text citation, and another in the form of references, which is usually listed at the end of the manuscript. So how to prepare this in-text citation? It depends upon what kind of citation style you are using. There are more than 9,000 citation styles. Some of them are APA, Chicago, or MLA. It depends on what kind of style you are using, and you have to prepare in-text citations and references accordingly. So this is one example I gave. I have listed for a in-text citation. So this is an example for in-text citation. See the entry element of the author and the year after the end of the sentence. So that means I have taken this particular text or particular sentence from this particular source. Either I have given in double quotes, or even if I have rephrased the sentence without changing the context of the meaning, I have to give credit to the original source. So this is the in-text citation, and similarly I have to give references at the end for the in-text citations. So whatever I have cited in the text, I should give a detailed description, that is called as references in the end. So this is how you give acknowledgement to the original source, to the owners of the original source. So let us know that these many, so if we have come to the end part of the session, let us know that these many resources are available. So after knowing the availability of all these resources, we have to make use of these resources, and after using the resources, You have to acknowledge them properly. You have to acknowledge the original source of the resources, and then you have to share information about these resources to your peer groups. So finally, you need to understand that your institution is spending so much amount for these resources. As a learners, as a users, you need to make use of them to the maximum effect and promote their usage among your peer groups. With this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. Now I hand over the session to the organization, to Chandra. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Hello, Abhi sir.
Yeah, ma'am.
Hello. In our college, we are using Enlist since 2017, sir. Actually used by students and research scholars, staffs also. So, but encouraging user to use efficiently. So, 2017 I was since used by Enlist.
That's good to hear, ma'am.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, one and all.
Wait, ma'am. Madam, Casey, madam, கொஞ்சம் wait.
Okay, okay.
Any questions from the participants?
Sir, any questions?
So one question from
Good afternoon, sir. I have a query. What is the purpose of Enlist?
Okay, yeah, ma'am. Enlist is actually what you say. It is a e-resource provider which is sponsored by Ministry of MHRD for institutions only, not for individual, where the researchers and teachers can make use of subscribed resources. When you go for scholarly content, most of the scholarly content are not available for free. And as a researcher or a teacher, you might be knowing that. So what Enlist is what Enlist does is, it is a consortia. As I mentioned earlier, it is a consortium of a group of resources where they come together and they give access at a discounted price of the top publishers. In this way, your students or your scholars or even faculty can make use of this for teaching, learning, and research purposes. That is the primary objective or aim of Enlist. Hope I have answered your question, ma'am. Hello.
Hello. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, hello. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Yeah.
Sir, I had created. We received an Enlist ID, but we forget to log in, and now we have to create a new Enlist ID, or we can cover that Enlist ID.
There will be an option called forget password, sir. You can always retrieve your password based on that. If not, you send a mail. You send a mail to Enlist. They will definitely respond. That we have misplaced or something like a password, and you send a mail. They will definitely respond. You send a detailed mail with your membership details as well. Then only they can understand. Okay.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Sir, I'm Malati, sir, from librarian.
Yeah.
Sir, in NDL, we can create a ID for the students, sir.
You have to register as an institution first of all. Once you register as an institution, they will ask a nodal officer. Most probably, librarian will be the nodal officer. What you can do is there is a separate CSV format where you can download from NDL. In that format, you have to type the names of students and faculty members, whoever you want to register, and you can do bulk updation when you just upload the CSV file in that bulk user registration portal, automatically it will generate usernames, and every user, and you can inform the students that they will receive an activation link from NDL to their mail to activate their login credentials. So once they activated that, they can set their own password and use it accordingly. So this is how you can monitor the institutional usage. When the student is registering individually, you cannot monitor the institution usage. So it is advisable to register is at the institutional level, so that you can track, so that they can track the usage of institutions of NDLI. I hope you understand my point.
Yeah, I understood, sir. Sir, it is free of cost or any charges there, sir?
NDL is absolutely free.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, this is one question from Ranjit Jose.
Pardon, ma'am?
How about the copyright aspects of materials which we download from these kind of consortia or subject gateway?
Ma'am, pardon, ma'am. I'm not able to hear you clearly. Can you please repeat this? Repeat your query again.
How about the copyright aspects of materials which we download from these kind of consortia or subject gateway?
How many? No, I'm not able to get you again. Sorry, some audio jarring is there actually. What? Can you type your query in the chat box, please?
It is given in the chat box.
One second, I'll check it. Copyright aspects of materials which we download from this consortium or subject gateway. It is possible for us to add this in our institution digital library without copyright violation. Excellent question actually. So that is what I was talking about in a particular particular PPT, a particular slide. You are not what are the things that are not permitted in NList? Okay, so copyright violation is you can you can only download certain contents. For example, you have access to journal American Institute of Physics, that to a particular journal. You cannot download the entire issue of that particular journal. That is not possible. And if you want to add this in your digital library, that is not allowed actually, unless the content is openly available. If it is an open access journal, if it is a content from an open access journal which is available in the public domain, you can access it. And once you can give instead, I have given you one suggestion also. You can give the link of that URL in your digital library. That is very much possible. That is very much you can do it. So once you give the link of the URL, when you click it, it will direct you to the NList homepage. From there, whoever is having the username, authorized username and password, they alone can access the content. Because this becomes a copyright violation. So once you put because these resources belong to NList, so you cannot share it in your digital library. You cannot upload the full text of the content in your digital library. That is very much not allowed. And even you cannot download it and share it to unauthorized users also by mail or by by WhatsApp or by any other social media. You are not supposed to share it to unauthorized users, but sharing it to your authorized users. For instance, you are the librarian, you want your HOD or something, some other student is asking for this particular resource, he or she is an authorized user and he is not able to log in into NList because of certain network issues. You can download it for him and you can share it to that particular authorized user, not to unauthorized users, to your friends or colleagues. Well, I hope I am clear. Hello, ma'am. Have I answered your query?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I have got two queries in the chat box. Can we register as individuals in NDLI? Oh, you can't register as an individual, sir. Only the institution has to register, right? And how Enlist can be useful for UPSC aspirants? Okay, it depends upon your requirement. Actually, Enlist provides e-books. I told you it provides e-journals and e-books. So for an UPSC aspirant, and whatever you are taking as your preliminary subject or main subject, you are taking for political administration or sociology or geography, whatever you are taking, you can refer to those books or journals from good and standard publishers. You will get what you say up to date information, where you get where whatever you are saying, whatever recent trends happening in a particular field, you will get only from research articles, not from Google search engines. So Enlist will help you in such a way that you can get recent information from these journals actually. So as a UPSC aspirant, you need to be up to date with the latest contents. So similarly, you can make use of Enlist for getting recent updation about a particular field or a particular area of study by accessing those journals and so on.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Rahman, sir.
Hello, sir. Yeah.
NDL library, NDL, it is used to the smart board to the students to explain the various classes, sir.
Yeah.
Is possible?
Using a smart board, NDLA actually gives you content where you can download and interact with the content. There are certain interactions possible, as I told you. Using smart board, I am not aware of that.
Okay, okay, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, ma'am.
Now conclude, sir. How is, sir?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, sir. Abu, sir.
Yeah, ma'am.
Now vote of thanks, sir. Good evening, one and all. As all good things come to an end in life, so is the webinar. On behalf of the principal ma'am and council members, staffs and students of Kaidamilath Government College for Women, I take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to those who have directly and indirectly contributed to this national level webinar on Enlist and the National Digital Library of India, organized by me as the college librarian. At the outset, I thank our chief guest and resource person, Dr. K.S. Abu. We are really enlightenment with your knowledge and presence, and I hope the same from the participants as well. I would like to thank our principal for her extended support. A special thanks to my colleague Dr. S. Dharmamigi, College Librarian at Bharati Women's College, Chennai, for the great support and coordination. And I thank Mr. Mohan for technical support. My heartfelt thanks to everybody for active participation. With these warm words and a message of stay home, stay safe, we move to the end of the today webinar. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.